All right, guys, so we're doing another video. I actually quite like doing these videos. Today we're talking about top foods that are dangerous for your blood pressure and your health, really. There's a lot to go over here real quick. I'm trying not to make this a long video. There's a lot of huge mistakes I've made. One, that made my blood pressure go up, and two, that just made me feel overall terrible. And so this is not just a video for the blood pressure guys and girls. This is a video for everybody, right? Kind of do some of that, something everybody can relate to. And the very first one I'm talking about that will make you feel like crap, will put weight on you, and believe it or not, will actually make your blood pressure go up. A lot of people don't realize is sugar. That's a very controversial subject. My personal findings are, let me back up here. I went off sugar for about a year, a little over a year. Lost a bunch of weight. I went totally off sugar to start. This is probably 2020. And I lost weight, but you can't eat anything. So you have to weigh out, okay, is 100% or 99% sugar, no sugar, is that the way to go? My problem is I didn't feel great doing no sugar at all. Your body needs a little bit of sugar. You can't eat out anywhere. You're having to eat basically a lot of meat. You know, you're eating salads and vegetables with no dressing, with no nothing on it. It's a pretty bland lifestyle. Can I do it? Of course. Should you? I don't think. I think you should go to like a 90% no sugar diet. I did that last year. That was a happy medium. That still kind of sucks, is you can't really go eat anywhere. You can't do anything. Not that we even go eat anywhere really anymore. That's even come to a minimum. After building onto my house, we added the big kitchen to it. I want to cook stuff, right? As many of you do. But if I overdid on the sugar, it caused an issue with the blood pressure go up. I'm not sure how it's related, if that spikes your blood sugar and then in return makes your blood pressure go up. I'm sure that's what it is. One thing we do here, we make desserts and stuff here. If you guys are friends and family, you see my personal Facebook or putting stuff on there that has sugar in it, you know, recipes we cook and stuff like that. You know, the thing is, you have to adjust according to your body. You could even make a cake. You can make a devil's food cake if you want. But you have to understand, when you make things like buttercream icing, and it calls for 6 cups of sugar. You know, we started doing 3 or less. Or you can make a different kind of icing, the same dessert. You know, you get the drift. You adjust the sugar accordingly. We cut back a lot whenever we can to substitute honey for sugar. Substituting brown sugar for white sugar is not going to get you anywhere. That's just basically white sugar with molasses ground into it. It's not going to gain you anything as far as anything healthier. One thing else I cut out of my diet a long time ago is fast food. Now, hear me out. I still get a Chick-fil-A sandwich every once in a while. I do not get fries with it. I do not go to any other fast food chain. Not because of any of the politics of Chick-fil-A. It's just that that's the cleanest fast food you can get through a drive-thru, especially if you're taking a trip. You just want to stop and get something quick. You know, in the past, you'd have to go to McDonald's or Burger King or some kind of other big chain. That stuff's horrible for you. Horrible. You've all seen the videos. You know, put the burger in the cabinet for 30 years, pull it out, it looks the same. No. In my opinion, for fast food, for what it is, your Chick-fil-A is probably the cleanest you could get. There again, maybe we eat that. I eat that probably, let's be honest here, once every other week. Right? Sandwich only, no fries, nothing weird. And that does pretty good. That takes me to the next thing. Highly processed foods. Highly processed foods, that's pretty much everything. Any kind of sliced deli meat, any kind of sausage type situation. If you could see, if you're going to buy something and it's in the store and it's not refrigerated and it's meat. We were in the hardware store the other day and there was bacon on the shelf in a box that's not refrigerated. Can you imagine what's in that? Well, clip ahead, if you buy deli meat that is refrigerated, bologna, Braunschweiger, ugh, and that still has an enormous amount of salt, sodium, worst case MSG, all that crap in there, preservatives, tons of preservatives. That is going to cause you a lot of not only blood pressure problems, that's going to cause you digestive issues. That's going to cause your stomach to act up in a way that you don't want it to, if you know what I mean. It's going to make you feel like crap, bloated, overly full, and then starve in a short time later. That's a huge, huge thing to cut out in your diet. That's hard to cut out. It's very hard. You could go to the store and buy a pack of bacon. You could read the back of it. You don't know what's really in that. Is there preservatives in there? Probably. But think about that. They don't sell bacon frozen. They sell bacon in a package in the refrigerated section of the grocery store. If obviously most of that or some of that's cured or smoked, but you bring it home, open it up, put it in the fridge, in a Ziploc bag or whatever, and it turns brown right away. It did not turn brown in the store, sitting there for weeks and weeks. So what's sprayed on it to make it look better in the store? Who knows? Who knows? If you have a local meat processing plant, that's probably the best way to go. That's getting hard to come by. Somewhere you can just walk in and get that. In America, just going to the butcher is not really a thing. That's few and far between. If you live in an enormous city or a very small town, to the extreme, one or the other, maybe you have access to that. Most of us do not have access to that, right? The other thing I talk about, which is another big deal, is grocery store vegetables. Grocery store vegetables, and you're locked in. Most people have to eat vegetables from the grocery store. You're gonna grow a garden. I live in the middle of nowhere. We have a greenhouse, but that's not producing enough food year round where I don't have to buy vegetables. It's just not. Fruits and vegetables, not only vegetables, fruits and vegetables. A lot of those are sprayed with waxes and dyes and things to make them look nice for a long time. A lot of those are genetically modified. That may not be so good for you. If you ever gone to the store and bought a tomato, regardless of the time of year, went to the grocery store and bought a tomato, and you come home and slice it up and eat it, it tastes like nothing. Those are picked very green before they get a lot of the nutrients from the plant. And then if you eat a homegrown tomato, it's like a different fruit, like you're eating something totally different. This is the time of year for the cherries in the grocery store. And I bought some, and they're okay, but they're kind of waxy on the outside. And I've had fresh picked cherries, and they're not like that. Are they spraying wax on them? Yeah, they are. Are you eating wax and or dyes and preservatives? Yep, you are. Is that going to give you cancer one day, or cause your blood pressure to spike to the roof, or cause other issues? Probably. But we're at the point, we're at the time there is not much choice. Trying to get decent food is hard to do. And one thing is not on the list here, I'm going to talk about briefly, we'll move on, is water, tap water. A lot of people, even close friends and family, drinking water out of the tap. Here's the thing. I understand bottled water may not be any better for you than the tap water. A lot of times it is tap water just from somewhere else. But there's nothing monitoring that. And, we've all had the little pure filter things, little pitchers. That takes pretty much nothing out. And maybe you'll make it taste a little better. That doesn't take any harmful stuff out or anything. I've run the 11 filter systems on your kitchen sink, the reverse osmosis. That probably takes a lot of stuff out, a lot of bad things, a lot of bacteria. But then you have to keep up with the maintenance on that. It can be very expensive and very often that you have to do that. So take that for what you will. A lot of states, a lot of cities do not have good tap water. you really need to think about it before you just start drinking out of the tap. It's not 1964 anymore or 1952. Don't do that. That's not good. I remember hearing stories of my grandparents, my grandpa, when I was a little bitty kid, and he was probably in his 90s then, about taking a coffee cup in his tackle box and drinking out of the river. Son, you drink out of the river right now. You won't let it tell about it in the next 5 minutes. That's some ugly stuff. Anyhow, the next thing, a lot of people make this mistake. Large amounts of alcohol, any alcohol. The follow-up read I was doing on several different websites, several different medical-based websites is, if you drink alcohol, it will temporarily make your blood pressure go down. Followed by the next day, or hours later, your blood pressure is going to spike way through the roof. If you're doing a lot of the stuff so far on this list and you have extremely high blood pressure, you need to rethink your situation. Right? And the next one, you know what the next one is? Smoking. I don't care if you're smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, hovering over your burning trash barrel, hovering over your barbecue pit for hours on end. Smoke is smoke. Smoke thickens your blood when you breathe it in. To the extreme is cigarettes. That makes your blood thicker. It causes all kinds of issues that ordinarily would not be there. Smoking gives you cancer. It's not like maybe somebody got cancer once from smoking. It will give you cancer, 100%. And you see a lot of people say, oh, so-and-so's grandparents is 95 and he smoked his whole life and never got cancer. Okay, well, he's like the 1%, has some kind of genetic anomaly that smoking didn't kill him. The rest of any of us, it'll kill you. If you start early, it'll kill you usually in your 50s or 60s. I'm not trying to be weird or funny, but I mean, that's a bad problem. So if you know your blood pressure is way up the day after, the morning after you drink a case of beer or smoke a bunch of packs of cigarettes, obviously it's going to be, right? If your blood pressure is high anyway, you go out and like a binge drink, that could spike you up to the roof. Even though alcohol thins your blood, it doesn't matter. It thins it while you're drinking it, a short time after, then it gets thicker. I'm just trying to save you guys from having a stroke or a heart attack on that stuff. The next one, we're all guilty of this. I'm not trying to be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes or anything. I'm going to tell you right now, caffeine. You guys all knew it was coming. Caffeine, especially, back up here a little bit. A lot of you guys watching the videos are taking blood pressure meds. What does blood pressure meds do? It sedates you. It's a sedative. Every one of those blood pressure medicines also has attached to that a sedative. That's what helps push your blood pressure down, right? If you are tired all the time, you get out of bed, you can barely move. The first thing you're thinking is like, man, I need some coffee, a soda, some arrangement of caffeine, right? So you drink caffeine. And that kind of brings you from dead tired to just manageable when you're on those pills. And the way caffeine works is you need a little bit at first, just like other drugs, I guess. You need a little bit at first, and that's not doing it. You get a little bit more. And pretty soon you're consuming a large amount of caffeine and your blood pressure starts going up, right? Start feeling hot, red, flushed in the face. And then if you drink enough or eat enough caffeine gum or drink enough caffeine liquid, you're going to start having stomach issues. You're not going to be able to sleep at night. When you don't sleep at night, guess what happens to your blood pressure? It goes up. It's like a triple-edged sword on some of this stuff. And another one I'm going to talk about, we could spend all day talking about caffeine. Another one I had ugly experience with was all the beet supplements, the beet powder supplements, the beet juice supplements to lower your blood pressure. I tried that several times. You know what that did? Raised my blood pressure a lot. It made it go out of control. In my personal experience and what I read before on forums, other people, the beet supplements for your blood pressure is not going to lower your blood pressure. Maybe you'd be the one person out of a million that it does. Okay, we'll go take that then. But I'm just warning you guys to think about purchasing the Super Beats and all this other stuff, whatever brand it is. There's 1,000 brands out there. I have not seen anything, any legitimate anything that makes that lower your blood pressure at all. Same as garlic. A lot of guys saying, eat garlic. Well, if you want to be by yourself and scare off everybody around you, stink away everybody around you, go and eat that garlic. That would be another video, by the way. The best thing you could do is make your own food at home. That is so difficult for most people these days, even me. You can throttle what sugar you want. You can select what ingredients you put in it, but beware. Let me put a warning on this. If you buy really good quality food, if you buy the regular sized chicken in a box instead of the big giant one, the Tyson one, you buy a normal sized grass-fed chicken, it's probably better than the big giant injected chicken you buy in the store, but it costs a lot of money. You know, we do a lot of stuff with boneless, skinless chicken thighs, a lot of recipes, instead of using white meat, breast meat from a chicken, because the white meat's so dry. And for your average 5 or 6 grass-fed chicken thighs at a big chain store, we're close to $8 for that. Most recipes, we're using 2 and 3 packages of that, right? You know, we're way north of $20 for basically, 15, 16, 17 little bitty chicken thighs. And if you're cooking for 3 or 4 people, you got a couple kids, you're going to have to use 2 or 3 packs if you're grilling chicken or if you're doing something like that. And that puts a lot of people out of commission. They go buy the cheaper, big, giant chicken drumsticks because it's cheaper. And, it's all injected with hormones and antibiotics and all this other stuff. But there again, there's no way to tell if the smaller is any better than the bigger. Let's be totally honest with you. And, a lot of stuff we make here, as I talked about earlier in the video, we'll substitute for sugar. Instead of using sugar, we use honey on stuff, throttle the amount of sugar stuff calls for. We've been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of desserts really, utilizing lemon and different things. A lot of pastas that call for sugar in the sauce. You can utilize lemon, fresh basil, things like that, to where you don't notice there's no sugar in it. Same way with salt too. Lemon's a roundabout substitute for salt in a lot of things. A lot of people don't realize that. There again, a shake of salt out of your salt shaker is almost free. You go buy a bag of lemons, and it's some money, and it's not going to last forever in your refrigerator. And that is what it is. Buying lemon juice in a squeeze bottle, we use that for one thing here, cooking, and that is cocktail sauce when I do shrimp. And that's it. Because that lemon juice in that bottle is full of preservatives and full of stuff you don't want to be eating. We don't use any store-bought salad dressings anymore. We have a greenhouse of fresh basil and oregano and all kind of thyme and sage. So we substitute that. We make like a lemon vinaigrette and a really lightweight dressing. I find that even with pasta sauces, you dump in pasta sauce out of a jar, it's just full of garbage. It's full of preservatives and full of salt. This video will go on forever, guys. Hopefully this helps you guys a little bit. This is an endless topic. We're going to have to revisit this later on at a later date, another video. Hopefully you like the new format of videos. I like doing this. I know this is a car channel, right? But I've gotten tired of doing car stuff, and I want to try to help some people with this. I think we're doing that. Reading the comments on the last couple of videos, obviously you got 1% are assholes, right? You're always going to have that. But 99% of people are loving the videos because they can relate to these videos. These are relatable to almost all people. And I'd like to keep doing it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Have a good day, guys. We'll see y'all later.